Hey, I'm Susan.
I'm David, and we're here today at the University of Michigan Museum of Natural History answering some questions that you left at the exhibit.
So we have lots of great questions that kids asked on these forms, and we're going to look at them and see what we think the answers might be. Stacy drew a virus and asked, how do viruses form? What do you think, David?
Well, new viruses form inside of living things like plants and animals. And when a virus, for example, enters your body, it connects to tiny parts inside your body, and it gets your body to use its energy to make new copies of the virus. So that's how new viruses are formed.
And it makes lots of new copies, doesn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
And it happens really, really fast.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I didn't know viruses were in plants. Cool.
All right, so Zoe is asking, how do viruses spread so quickly?
Yeah, viruses have different ways that they can spread. They can spread through air, like the coronavirus spreads through air. They can also spread through liquid in our mouth, like spit. They can spread through, if someone gets a cut, it can spread through getting into the blood system. But not every virus spreads through all these different ways. So it's kind of interesting. Viruses can be really different from each other, and different ones spread in different ways. Tess, who is 19 and 5/12 years old, asked whether there are any helpful viruses. I thought that was an interesting question.
Yeah, I think most viruses would make you sick or just like not affect you. I think there's not a lot of viruses that like are just naturally helpful. But there's a lot of really cool research that scientists are doing, using a lot of the ways that viruses work to help us do things like gene editing or other types of research.
Mm.
Do you know of any other uses?
No, I don't. The other thing I'll say is there's a lot that scientists are continuing to study and learn about viruses because there's so much we still don't know. So it's something we can look out for to see what new research tells us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tyler, who is 5, asked a really great question, which is, how do viruses make you sick?
Yeah, that's a great question. It depends a lot on the type of virus, and there's a lot of different ways that viruses might make you sick. But the reason why, for example, you might get a fever or you might start feeling achy after you get infected with a virus is because when the virus connects to different parts inside your body starts to respond, and it starts trying to attack and try to like make you feel better by getting rid of the virus, and that's where a lot of the symptoms like getting a fever come from. So that is one way which viruses can make you sick. Fernanda, who was 7, asked the question, are they cute?
And I thought that was a great question. A lot of times when you see viruses, pictures of viruses that people draw, like in books or on websites and that kind of thing, even in the model that we have back here, they often do have a face on them. And I think they do look pretty cute. But of course, those aren't real viruses. And if you look at an actual real virus, it looks more like that one. And I would say that one's not very cute. It doesn't have a face. J.A. asked, are they bad guys?
That's a super interesting question. Viruses are not bad guys. They don't really think, so they're not really doing anything intentional. So when they are sort of going into your body or into somebody else, they're really just trying to survive. So they're not really like good or bad. They're just doing their thing.
Yeah. And they can make you sick, which would make you feel bad. But I totally agree.
So Will has this question that I actually don't know the answer to. Did T-Rex have viruses?
Yeah, I thought that was such an interesting question. I also don't know the answer. But what I do know is viruses are in all different kinds of living things. And of course, dinosaurs are living things, were living things. And also, viruses were around way before the dinosaurs came to be. So, if I had to guess, I would say probably yes. That's a great question.
It's possible.
Okay. Sean, who's 6, asked, why are viruses not alive or dead?
This is a super interesting question because it goes into what it means to be alive. As scientists, one of the parts that like we say that something needs to happen in order to be alive is that they need to be able to reproduce by themselves. They need to be able to make copies, make babies on their own. And viruses cannot do that. They need a host. They need to be inside another living thing in order to make copies of themselves. And because of that, they're not considered living things because they cannot do it on their own.
Yeah, that was a very informed question
Yes.
because a lot of people don't know that viruses are neither alive nor not alive.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they're like in that like in between spot.
right, because they're also not like completely unalive. They're not like a pebble or something just sitting there. They do change and they evolve and they do other things that living things sometimes can do, but they just can't do all of the things that we consider you have to do to be alive. Thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate all your questions. We hope that you come and see us, see the exhibit, tell us more questions. We'll try to answer as many as we can.